Well, hi, good morning. Thanks so much for joining me here in my shop. Today is November 17th. And unfortunately, it's just a rainy day outside here. But soon the snow will fall. Maybe early December, some snow will fall, and the ground will stay white for the rest of the winter until the springtime. So, still not like that now. Still looking at some green grass outside. And talking about green grass, so I ended the video yesterday playing the radio and just checking through the bands and not hearing very much at all. So I came in here in the evening over the course of a couple of hours, just around and just after sundown, and the result was really good, really good. I really enjoyed actually tuning this radio. I discovered a couple things about tuning it. One is the tuning action is fantastic. You can turn this thing the smallest amount you can possibly move it with your hand, and the capacitor is responding to it. It's fantastic. You'd think it's chain driven or gear driven the way it's working. Wonderful. No backlash. Just wonderful to tune, in fact. Secondly, the reception was fine. It was. I have another very large old radio I was comparing it with in my house, and this guy, I hate to say it, he might have been doing better. Oh my gosh! It's been my experience with this type of radio, and there's quite a few around that look very much like this. They are great performers. So this one has turned out to be the same. I'll put some, I shot video yesterday when I was doing this, so I'll stick some of it in this video probably right after I finish talking here, so you can hear this radio working a little better. So today what I want to do is finish off the alignment process by aligning the broadcast band. There's 4 steps to it. 1, 2, 3, 4. The last one is done with a, rather than a direct signal generator connection to the radio, it's done with a radiating loop at the radio zone antenna, which is up here out of sight. When that's to tune, the last thing to tune is a capacitor right up on the antenna here. That's to actually tune the antenna to resonance. So the owner of this radio has told me he's quite interested in listening to sports on it. He has a whole museum-like plan for it, and so the key thing is to make this radio work well on one particular frequency, which is 590, which also, for this location here where I live, is the strongest AM daytime station that comes in, so that should work out quite well. Although I expect the radio to be receiving fine across the entire band. Once we get all that done, get the alignment done, I'm a little curious about this last antenna adjustment I made. I ended up plunging this capacitor all the way down to its limit here, and I wonder if that's not just because of the way I have shop equipment connected. So we might experiment a little with that. I might like to try to measure the sensitivity of the shortwave bands and compare them, but I think in listening last night, I'm pretty convinced they're all working really quite well. Wonderful. Then, if all that goes well and there's still time left, it'll be time to look at the magic eye here and figure out what we can do with it. Great. So I'm going to get all the equipment warmed up, turned on. It's actually the other order. Turned on, warmed up, and we'll be ready to go here. In the meantime, while things are warming up, you can watch some of the video from last night of me listening to this radio. Okay, it's just after 6 in the evening now. It's completely dark outside. Completely dark. And since on the 19 meter band, I don't think we're going to hear anything, but let's see. Okay, just wanted to make sure the antenna was switched on, and it is. So let's go down to the next band super fine. 25 meter band.
Extremamente experiente, mas o time está se aproximando da possibilidade de ir para cá, hein, Mário Silva? Verdade, se o hoje vai a 21. Isso.
.31 meter band. .49 meter band, or B band. The tuning is extremely sharp here. That's Morse code. all set and ready here. Let's just check the zero on the scale camera here. Right on the money, dead center of the pointer. Excellent. The first frequency we need to set this to is 155 degrees. So I might as well do it with this camera here. 155. There we are. 155. Set the radio onto the proper band here. Okay, that should be it. Don't trust myself. We'll take a look. A big A sitting there. That's right, A for broadcast. A for B, A for broadcast. 1400. Okay, that's what I've got set on the signal generator. We should be hearing it right now. Oh, no, I don't have the... Okay, all is good. I have some... modulation at 30%, 400 hertz. Hello, I don't hear it. Let's see where it is. Oh boy. Hmm. $155. That's correct. 1400 kilohertz. That's correct. And we don't hear a thing. This was the outdoor antenna I was just experimenting with. It won't have had any effect. It's definitely connected here. Did I hook up the wrong wire? No. That's a pretty strong signal. We'll just make it stronger. Oh, now I hear it. Seems to be aligned correctly frequency-wise, but the strength of that is just terrible. Of course, you know, I have this connected down here, these terminals. According to the schematic, this is very hard to see on camera, I'm sure. Terminal's there, and the connection comes through C8, and there's a coil. And it would appear to be inside here, inside the antenna. Which is up there. There's C2, the variable one. That's this one right here. So there's yuck. This is suggesting there's a capacitor inside here somewhere. If I'm reading this right, that's not necessarily the case, is it? Let's see. This capacitor and coil, they could be underneath the chassis. L1 loop. What does that say? Can't read it on the small. Big here. L1 loop assembly. When you read at that, that's got to be this. Small capacitor, 68 picofarad, which is probably one of those black ones. Or it could be another kind of mica one. It's probably a highly reliable capacitor. Have to be fairly flat to fit inside this antenna because the antenna is really quite thin. Oh! No, it's got some dimension to it there. I've never opened one of these. They're put together with staples. all the way around. And unless I thought there was something really wrong with it, I really wouldn't want to take it apart. Okay, why so weak, radio? Why so weak? Could be because I don't know. I have to check the well, I'll worry about it later. I know this is set correctly, but the camera may not be positioned exactly right. I'll check the zero later. Let's go through the alignment process. Maybe it'll come to life. Maybe it's all alignment here that's causing the problem. So first one is an oscillator adjustment, but it seems fine to me at this frequency. And I'm going to have to change the scale setting again, 33 degrees, and check it at 600, which is actually more important. More important that it be strong down there too. Okay, so we'll take this down to 33 degrees. Okay, so that should be 600. I guess this would be 590. 33. Okay, 600. No, that's really very, very close. And not bad reception. So it's 595 at this setting, and we were definitely at 33. Make a small adjustment here. What am I adjusting? The low end, I'm adjusting L17. L17. It's this guy right here. And maybe I'll pull this antenna thing up and just see if that doesn't have some beneficial effect here. So we want this to go a little stronger, please. It's barely off. It's barely off. Just based on sound. That sounds good. Let's pull this antenna thing up and just see what effect it has on the radio. Just loose. The locking thing is as loose as can be. I don't hear any difference. We'll put it back down. One of the things I found very, very surprising is that, the cameras I use don't seem to issue any significant radio interference. It's really surprising to me. So when you see it in there, you go, well, come on, you're sticking a big piece of metal in there and it's an electronic camera. Surely it's interfering with things. It doesn't seem to. Just a little aside there. Well, so we have this at 600 now. I'm still at 30. We're not quite at 33 anymore. Yeah, who did that? Oh, camera. Not a lot of parallax. I've got the pointer pretty close to the scale. Oh, I see what it is. This again. Duh. Duh, 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 duh. Okay. 33. Seems pretty good. Splitting hairs at this point. Watch the meter. Wonder what you're tuning to there. Oh, that's the modulation. It's just when you tune it off, the noise signal you pick up has a higher level of modulation in it, I guess. I don't know. Okay, so this is really aligned quite good on the broadcast band so far. Let's try the next one. C16 at 1400. C16 at 1400. C16 is right there. It's on the side. One towards the front, that guy. Okay. So we want to go to 155 again. Okay, that's 155, right? Yes. And 1400. Just a touch out. So shouldn't I do the oscillator again? C38. The last time I said, oh, it's just great, and I left it. This time, having moved the other, maybe I got to move this one too. Are we on the right spot? 155. We're definitely on the right spot. 155. Seems to me when you're going to do the not an oscillator adjustment, you need the radio tuned right on the signal you're adjusting to. Let's go back and do C38 and bring the radio in on target here. C38, so C38 is this one. Where is it? Something not right here? $1,400, 155. It's definitely 155. C16 is what I should be doing, but I reverted back to C38 oscillator. Done at 1400. Where's the radio gone here? It's right there. Why couldn't I hear it? I must have been zooming right past it. Like in this one. Can't hear it there. I guess maybe at 1400 there's some noise signals here that are just covering up the signal generator. So I had to turn this up quite high. But okay, that's done. Is it? So now we're supposed to do, with the radio tuned dead on, C16. C16. Okay. Wow. I really have to put a blaster of a signal into this radio at this point. Or am I putting a blaster in? Yep. It's definitely a lot. Something not right here. Okay, let's tune. That's a bad sign. That's a very bad sign. C16, this hole, 1400, 155. We have a very weak radio, and this is having any effect. I'm certainly not noticing it. Wow. Maybe something wrong here. Okay, put it back where it was. Okay, well, so let's stop feeding the signal in this way, and we'll feed it in with a loop and radiate it right into the big antenna above. No, I'm just about to do that, and I notice that I've got this upside down here. I'm feeding the signal generator signal through this capacitor. It shouldn't make any difference, should it? But I really meant to feed it through the resistor. I've just got this upside down. So let's find out what happens here. I don't think it made any difference at all. What if we go straight on? Again, not much difference. Now there is an antenna. A terminal right on the big antenna here, which is meant for something called a capacitive antenna, which I don't really understand. What happens if we stick this in up here? Sounds about the same. Okay, now we're going to try to radiate the signal onto this antenna with this one. Radio seems very, very weak. Should be easily picking this up. I'm worried something's not right here. So maybe I can hang this back here. Set it back here. It's just they're not working very well. I think lots of noise coming through, very little signal. Okay, let's go down to the other end where let's go right down to around 590, which is just below 600, which is just below 33. So there's a fairly strong AM signal down there. Most radios have not much trouble picking it up. This one, not at all. Now, it could be because the antenna is oriented exactly wrong. So we'll try. When I hang it up, it's goodbye to the signal. Okay, I gotta stop for a little bit and hey, what about this capacitor? Okay, I gotta ponder this because I don't think this radio is working properly. I think it could do a lot better, and it's not. It could just be I'm here in my shop and it's difficult in the shop for a radio to receive. Or it could be indicating that there's something actually wrong, some component not working right, something like that. Can't imagine it's the alignment at this stage. Yeah, I'm going to ponder the situation a little bit before I decide what to try next. Plus, I noticed the tuning is that was 590. It should be at, well, I don't know, something below 33. It's at 30. 30 is below 33. How far is that on the dial? So if we go to 33, and then we just come back to where it was. that much. Well, you know, it's a 1/4 inch or more on the dial. It's not that bad. Okay, going away to think about things. Okay, so we're looking at my SDR now. The SDR antenna pickup coil is right near the oscillators of the radio, and what I'm looking for, what I'm trying to identify here is the oscillator weak. If the oscillator outputs, the local oscillator is weak, then the signal reproduction will be weak along with it. So there's the local oscillator sitting there. Now this is really just a quantitative sort of test, because I really don't, it's hard to judge whether that's strong enough. I mean, clearly it's there. I'll tune the radio just to move it. Okay, something else we can do here is I will set this to where 590 was coming in. So right about here. And we can now identify the local oscillator frequency by doing that and just reading it. 1050. 1050. I have to actually tune in a signal here to really know this for sure. So we're at 1050. I'm punching this into my calculator here. 1050. And we think the IF is tuned at 455. 455, subtract it away, and what do you get? I get 595. So 590 is what we're shooting for. Let's see if we can pick up that station again here. I'm going to switch things around with my cameras. Okay. We want to try to pick up that station. I think I got to hold the antenna over here. Right there. So we notice on the pointer we're just not quite 33, and if we look at the SDR frequency here, it's well, I would say it's 1040, 10.045. My little brain can't do the addition here, so I'm going to use my calculator again. 10.045, 10.045, 10.045, and I want to subtract 455, 590. If the radio is receiving 590, and the IF is properly tuned to 455, the local oscillator must be where it is for this to work. So now we're in the midst of calibrating the scale here, really. Huh. So we'd really want this to be at 33. 33 degrees on here. What does it matter though? The reception is terrible. I don't want to drag this whole setup into another room in my house and try it out. I have another trick. To try here. I just can't imagine it's going to work. I can just stand this up a little bit somehow. Okay, just stay like that. So I have this other booster sort of antenna here. Give it a little more volume. not quite what I'm expecting. Huh. Yeah, go ahead. Just as likely to work there as anywhere. He says, with a tone of frustration in his voice. All indications are there's something up about this radio. Maybe something down about the radio is really what I should say. It's receiving something, but it should be able to receive this pretty loud and pretty clear. I gotta do something stupid with the wires. I did these wires one at a time, so there's no way I mixed them up. It's not possible. That noise drives me nuts. I wonder what that is. Just any other station. There aren't any other stations. Very strong noise signals. It picks them up lovely. I'm waiting for a good idea to pop into my head. Yeah, it's not happening. No ideas popping. Okay, got an idea did pop into my head. Now why don't we try setting up one of these buttons? It's like an alternate way to set the local oscillator and the front end tuning of the radio. So the oscillator is controlled by a slug in each one of these very dirty coils, and then these capacitors control the tuning of the front end. That's how I understand it. Let me bring this over here. Stick it there. Okay, I'll set the signal generator to 5. Let's do this at 640. Let's do this at 640. There's another station at 640, which we should be able to hear fairly easily. Wow, did you see the meter? You didn't see the meter. The meter went right over. I don't hear anything. What's happening with this meter? It's not really following the sound. The sound... What? So this is showing the signal level at the speaker. That's what this is showing. What is this thing hearing? I don't hear it. Now we hear the tone coming from the signal generator. So this meter is reflective of the energy going to the speaker. change the... Hey, what is going on here? Hey, it's not supposed to work like that. So either some other signal reaching the speakers which we can't hear, or even a DC voltage making it. A DC voltage, how can that be? I'm on the far side of an output transformer. I do have this connected in parallel with the scope. Scope's not even on, it's just a scope input. How could that affect it? Who knows? I'm going to disconnect the scope input here. It didn't make any difference, just as you would expect. Oh, hey, scope! There's the answer. Really, duh. Yeah, that solution was in front of me the whole time. Okay, we'll put on the scope here. And we'll take a look at that signal. Okay, from a little ways away in this camera. Nothing there now. That's not what we're listening to. Did I hook up the right thing? I didn't. No, I have not hooked up the right thing. Here, it's here. Oh, see, this one was never connected. It was not connected. Now it's going to be connected. There we are. Okay, I literally forgot what I was doing all this for. Because we want to find out what's making this meter go up over here. Okay, you're going to watch both these things at the same time. Try that. Well, I wonder, you know, these loud clicking sounds. Are they responsible for this meter reading? Tune the radio a little bit, see if I can vary it. Oh, there's something there. Okay, this is set on AC. Let's put it on DC. Didn't make any difference, did it? So the scope's not showing any DC voltage at all. The zero line is right there. Can't be any DC, shouldn't be any DC. Why is this meter doing what it's doing over here? Why are you doing that? Something funny about the meter. What would be funny about the meter? I shut the set right off. Oh, there's something funny about the meter. Okay, let's give this a try. Oh, I got the set turned off. Let's switch it on. So in order to do this, you have to select push buttons on the front band selector. Okay, that would be push button. So now the radio is being tuned by whichever of these sets of coils is selected. So this one's selected, but these coils are also have a range. So the button most to the right is to tune the upper part of the band. The button most to the left is to tune the lower part. So I'm going to push this guy in here. Oh, we definitely heard a change. And now we're going to look on the SDR and try to spot the local oscillator. Well, I don't think I see it. So to make it apparent, I will tune the slug, change the oscillator frequency, and we'll see it on the SDR. Oh, what just happened? My speaker wire just popped off. Yeah, my sad arrangement here is coming apart. So two speakers in parallel. There we go. And the meter, which is doing lots of weird stuff. Okay. Okay, looking back at the SDR again. I don't see it anywhere. Let's see if I can get into the coil slug here. There we are. Okay, when I turn the slug, we should see something move on the SDR. Nothing moving. Can't possibly be off to the right. Shouldn't be, but let's take a look. I think that's it, way out here. No, can't imagine it. But we gotta check. What was that? Just a button. Considering how dirty all these coils are, I bet you these buttons may be not working. Is there anything popping up on the screen? Let's try another one. Okay, let's take it off, push button, and back onto. Well, there's a possibility these are not in the correct place. They're in exactly the place they were in when I got the receiver, but that's not to say they're necessarily correct. These may be wrong. I have to do a little investigation to figure that out. And what else could be going on here? I don't know. Yeah, first I got to check and make sure these are in the right order. Okay, so this diagram shows the push buttons as if you're viewing them from the back, like this. And there you see the three terminals, and it has these mysterious R, C, and F letters on it. These letters don't appear in any other document to do with this radio. R, C, and F. What could that stand for? Rear, center, and front. So, if that stands for rear, center, and front, the F is pointing to the rear of this. The rear. The front. So, if they're not telling you that these are at the rear, or these are at the front or the center, then they're telling you, I guess, that the wires, you take the rear wire and stick it in there, you take the center wire and stick it in there, you take the front wire and stick it in there. Now this is kind of a crazy way to do this. The three wires on the radio, you could organize them that way. You could say this is the rear wire, And then you could say this reddish one is the front wire because it goes up to the front, and then the other one's the center wire. That's exactly how they are in here. I checked against my photographs. It's exactly the way they were when the radio came here, and from my memory. Yeah, from my memory. Okay, it's from my memory. This is the right way. So what's going on here? No local oscillator coming up here in any case. How can that be? Let's go back on. Okay, so we're on the push buttons. If I tune the radio, there's no change in the radio's reception. That suggests no local oscillator, so no frequency conversion to the IF frequency, so nothing's coming through. So we see no local oscillator, it's behaving as if there's no local oscillator. Something wrong here. It's the same way on every band. RCNF. Really kooky fool. Maybe that's where I'm at here. I can just do the random thing and see what happens, but that doesn't make a lot of sense. I'm going to study this some more and see if I can't really sort out these wires for sure. I'm pretty sure now, but where is certainty in all this? Okay, let's take a look at these push buttons here. This is the set of them. Just let your eye go right around the outside. Where are the wires that come away from this? So here's one, this wire. They don't really show it going into any kind of connector, they just show it like that. And another wire obviously is this one. It's heading up through here, going somewhere. But there's 3 wires coming off that. There are only 2 shown on here. So the third wire has to be this ground connection, because there's no way for a ground to reach here. This set of switches is mounted up in the wooden cabinet. There has to be a grounding wire. So one of the 3 wires is doing this job. Notice they have a separate here. They don't even show them like wired together. That's what makes this whole thing so confusing. These switches are kind of interesting. So you see they have an L shape. When they're in switches in this position, this wire connects straight through. Straight through, straight through, straight through. Oh, can't get through because this one's been pushed. So that's how they managed to connect the wire here to whatever button is pushed. You pop this out, so no buttons are pushed, and this wire is just straight through. But of course there'd be no connection to these coils. Oh, so one of these wires is connected to a switch that is connected to the coils. I can probably see that. Let's suppose this one's not making contact here. Nothing's going to work up here. This contact isn't good. But let's say this one's not making contact, then these 3 would be no good, but this one would. I should push this first or last button, depending upon how you look at it. See if that doesn't bring it to life. Right now on the set, this button is pushed. Nothing's happening. No local oscillator. Come down here, get the same sort of deal, same switch kind of arrangement. And you're selecting these. These are just tuning trimmers. They aren't as critical as this, of course. This is the oscillator, which is tuning the radio. So this is... which one is ground? If we can figure out which one is ground, this should be pretty easy to do. Just with an ohm meter, and then the other 2 must be these 2. I could probably figure out which. Now the wire, it goes back underneath the cabinet. I can't really see where it's going. So I have to flip the radio up and look underneath. Likewise, this other wire, it's going underneath also. I mean, I can see them disappearing through the cabinet. Ooh, it's going way back up here somewhere. Get to the switch. Terminating in switches. That doesn't help much. That doesn't help and confuse them. But if you know which one's the ground is the ground, and the other two can be swapped back and forth if the concern is, in fact, these wires are not plugged in correctly. Okay, so that means figure out which one is the ground wire, play the radio, switch the other two, push this button, clean these switches. That's kind of the order of things. Okay, so the set is still operating. Let me just turn it up a bit because it's too easy for me to forget that it's on. And we'll get an ohm meter here. So I have a ground connection here. So I can tell you already, that's definitely not the ground. Maybe that. Maybe that. Maybe the ground is off. Is that the problem? Just put it in a pile here. Pretty easy to get a reading. There it is. The center one is ground. The center post is grounded. So if I switch these two, you see what happens. Okay, I don't think there's too much harm in doing this live, but I'm going to shut it off anyway. And I'm pretty sure that it's correct the way it is, and I'm making a mistake here. Come on out. You'd think they'd arrange these so back one, so they follow the pattern in the radio, but every time I do one of these radios, I get to this point, confusion occurs. Okay, power on again. Okay, so, well, it sounds a little different, doesn't it? Sounds different. It's tool here, this button. If I turn this, maybe we'll see a local oscillator move. Okay. So I don't hear anything changing. Something more must be going on here. The weak broadcast band, and this is all about broadcast too. Tone control. Let's switch back to the broadcast band. Make sure. I don't think these have any effect when you're That's really strange. So the radio is picking up the signal from the signal generator. This is getting more complicated all the time. It's still left near 640, 610, 615 if you like. But I'm way up on the dial here. I'm way up near the top of the dial. The 640 is way down here. So is this an image thing that's happened here? What has happened? What's going on? Okay, so if we look at the SDR, okay, we can see where the local oscillator is. The local oscillator is just below 1700. So say it's 1655. That makes things easy. That means we're tuned to 1 million. We're tuned to 1 million, but we're picking this way up here at 140 degrees. What would that be roughly, according to the paper? Where's all the paper? 148 degrees. So of course they don't specify 140. So 149, 6100. Well, that's on we're on the band. 49. 33 is 600. That doesn't help us at all. 130. 155 is 1400. Like this should be like 1100, 1200, 1300, of course. Double that. Double. We're putting in 615. Is this picking it up at double that? 12. Hey, what's going on here? everything's cockeyed and crazy. Okay, so once again, the local oscillator is definitely set for easy figuring, 1655. Why don't I set it for 1655? Let me do that. 1655. No. 1455 is where I really want to set this. 1455. Where the red line is. That should be ready to pick up 1 megahertz at that spot. Okay, 1 megahertz. I can't get there. I saw my meter jump there. It's working hunky-dory. Now, how's that signal getting there? It's getting there through the interaction of the two antennas. It's not a direct connection. Well, that's just fine. Well, what am I all hung up about? Well, what else can be picked up here? So, the local oscillator is above, so if we go another 455 above what the local oscillator is, that would be just above. I had 455 to 455. 905. 910. 1910 on here. We should probably hear it again, but nowhere else. Let me turn up the radio here. Meter's gone off. I don't hear it. Okay, so it's not guaranteed that we would hear that as an image. If it's a really good radio, it will reject the image to the point where we can't hear it, especially if there's noise happening and stuff like that. signal generator is done for the day. Oh my gosh. How I'm going to have to ponder all this. It's a little bit too much information coming at me all at once. Can't really tease out what's the most important thing to consider and look at further. We got buttons not working. We got AM receiver seems stupidly weak. Seemed to pick up a weird signal at a weird time. I left these wires incorrect. They don't matter as long as you're on the variable frequency oscillator. They don't matter. Could be these buttons are so dirty they're making no contact, so we can clean those up pretty easy. Yeah, I should clean this up before the next. I'll clean that up before the next. Great. I think we're done here. What do we do? I don't know what we did. I did the alignment on the AM radio unsatisfactory. I think that's the situation.